So hello friends, today I'm going to show you how to remove fungus out of this lens. It is a Micro-Nikkor 55mm f2.8 that I got rather cheap, and then let me show you. This is what I have. You can see it there, and then it looks a bit like fungus. I am not 100% sure about it, but this is what I have. And then if it is either fungus or the lens is just dirty, whatever, I'm going to show to you here aptly. So we're going to do a cleaning of that. If you have problems with this lens, I mean still focusing, I have a video for that. Leave you the link here in the corner, show you the cover of the video. If you have oily diaphragm, I have also a video for that as well. Here you have the cover, and then on the corner you have the link to that. And here what we're going to do is to open and clean this lens from fungus. So what we're going to do is extremely simple. So we have here the 3 screws. We're going to remove the bayonet. I have already pre-loosed them, so they come out rather easy. But then you have to be aware, usually in this lens these screws are extremely tight. So what you can do is to put some nail polish remover here, let it sit for a while. You can repeat the operation 2-3 times. It's not going to be a problem, that. And then what I do, just to make sure, is I take my J00 tip, I put it on a big screwdriver handle, and then I come here, I put it into the slot, I push really with a lot of force, and then I rotate it at the same time, and then usually this allows me to get the screws loose without damaging the head, which is one of those problems you can get with this lens. And then I have also a video showing a workaround when you have one of the screws that is damaged. Here is the cover, and then in the corner you have the link to that as well. But then let's not use the workaround, I don't do it the proper way. And here it is. I have removed the 3 screws of the bayonet. I remove here the bayonet. Then I want to remove the optical block. So first thing, I got it here to infinity f32 for good measure. And then what I'm going to do is to take out these 3 screws here. Okay, this one is bothering me to get out, but then you simply need to pull the body. You don't have to put any force into that. This screw is bothering me. Okay. And then here you have the optical body of the lens, and then what we want to do is you will find yourself here with 5 screws. Then there is 3 screws that have a small head, and then 2 that have a big head. You need to remove the 3 screws with small head. So we'll do this here. And then here you can remove this part, and then it may happen sometimes that it is quite stiff, so that means the play here is non-existent. So, and then it was pushed by force, and then you just need to pull with a bit of energy, and then it's going to come out because it's held only by this really small height. So, and then with that we have reached the center of the lens, and then we can proceed to the cleaning. So this one here seems to be okay, has only dust, and then it looks rather clean. So the one that is going to be a problem for us is this one here, that has the traces of whatever that is, maybe fungus. Okay, taking a closer look, it indeed looks a bit like fungus. Let me try to show to you, maybe to see if we're able to see anything. Okay, you can perceive something, but it's not extremely clear. So let's do things easily. I will go to grab a tool to hold this. I got my rubber cones here just to hold this element, so I can do the cleaning. And then here you can do two things. You can do it like this, and then you will have to cope with the diaphragm, which might move here, or you can just remove the diaphragm. This is something we can do, and then we'll have all the space to do the cleaning. And then this is rather simple. You just need to take out this spring here, and then if we don't bother the diaphragm a lot, we don't need to reassemble it. So, and then I will take these two screws out. That are the ones with the big head that I mentioned before. And then if I take this guy out, you have the diaphragm here. We'll keep it as is, and then if by mistake you disassemble it, you can check one of the videos where I show how to clean the oily diaphragm. I show there how to reassemble that. So I have this, and then here I have all the space in the wall to do the job. So, and then I can come and clean the lens. So I get my cleaning stuff, I put this thing into focus, and I put the black glass behind so you can see a bit better what is going on the glass. And then I take out my lens cleaning fluid, I take my microfiber cloths, so I have two. As usual, I have one old one which I use for the first cleaning, a new one that I use for the final cleaning. And then I mentioned already my lens cleaning fluid. This bottle is new, it's a new one that I ordered because the one that I show to you usually is here, but it is over. But then same thing as before, HTMC, and then you can find that guy in the video description. So, and then the repair here is rather trivial. So what I do is I blow to remove the fibers, then I apply a bit of the lens cleaning fluid, and then in a single sweep, whatever that was, either fungus or just dirt, is gone already. So so it was easy. So whatever that was is gone. Then I proceed to the second cleaning. I use the new cloth. And then for me it seems to be okay. I clean the edges, then I blow again, and we are done with that. So you got the idea. What I'm going to do is to clean this guy here off the camera. I'm going to repeat exactly the same thing. This is why I'm not show that to you, and then we just meet in a few seconds to reassemble the lens. Okay, so I have these two guys clean here, and then this one here I put it upside down. This one I shoot too, so I don't have dust or whatever that comes into the lens. Let me put this floating a bit on the air. Okay, and then we are going to reassemble the lens. This is rather simple. We're going to put this guy again with the diaphragm, and then here you have this small lever that comes out, and then that will be my cue to get the lens together again. And then I just need to pick it, and then I need to make sure I get the holes for the screw align, and then here I take back the screws with a big head. So I don't tight the screws entirely, at least not yet. So what we're going to do, I will explain to you that just now. Then you need to have this ramp here around this lever, which is moving a bit freely because we need to engage the spring here into this lever. Can do it with tweezers, and then we have this guy, and then here we need to align this part here with the button. This is why I don't tight the screws immediately, because this part here, okay, the screws are anyway tight. Okay, I need to get this guy here, and then if I move this part, which has some degree of freedom, I am able to play with this position. So, and then with that I need to make sure that I am wide open, and then once I have that, I'm sure about that, I will tighten the screws. So, and then I have my diaphragm here that closes entirely at the beginning of the ramp, and then is entirely open at the end of the ramp. So, see, beginning of the ramp, I have the pin which is in this position, and then I go all the way up to the top of the ramp, and then here I am entirely open. Okay, so that's for that. Another quick thing, then just for good measure I'm going to blow this so I don't have particles of dust. Then I set this guy, and then probably I forgot to mention, when we disassemble we went to the infinity position, and then the infinity means this part here is going to be in that position, wherever that is, but then the Q, it gives me the Q to put this part here, which has to be aligned with this protrusion here, and then with that I know in which position I need to put this part here, and then I need to make sure I am aligned with the holes, because if you remember we'll have to force the insertion of this part a bit, and then we want to be aligned with the screws. So I put it, you got the pop of inserting the part. Now I just need to put the screws. Okay, we have the first part done. We have the optical assembly back together. Now what we're going to do is to put the body, the optical body here, into the lens body that I have here. I see that it is a bit dirty here, so clean it. Then I will clean the bayonet as well. Okay, and then to insert the optical part into the body, so you need to pay attention to two things. So this small lever here that I'm moving just now needs to be in the middle of this part here, which okay, I'm not getting a nice view of that. Okay, come on. Okay, so that part there, get a lamp. Okay, now I have a good light. So it has to be here in the middle of this slot. That's one thing, and then the other thing is you have this slot here. Oh, I have to come again. Okay, and then you have that slot as well, and then that is to pass this thing here. But normally if you are at infinity and you disassemble the lens at infinity, as I indicate, this guy here and then this guy here should match almost perfectly. So we get first the aperture lever in, then we should need okay, this should go rather easily. For some reason it's not working. Okay, somehow it is blocking somewhere. this part here. Okay, so I can see that I am not 100% aligned here. I got out of the slot. I try again. Okay. Go back to infinity. Then for some reason I am almost in, but okay, just let me move this guy a bit manually. Okay, we probably move it while manipulating. I put it in position, and then here everything goes as it should, and then you know that because this pin here is in this slot here. And then with that we need just to make sure about the infinity, and then you can do that by shifting this guy here. No, not even. Oh yeah, I remember how you do that. Okay, so let me put these screws, and then let me explain to you how to do the fine adjustment. There is no reason to do it because we haven't changed anything. At least we didn't disassemble the focusing part, so this should be okay. But if you want to try and play with that, you saw these screws, you need to get them loose. They are into the small slot, and then here with a flat screwdriver you can rotate this element here, which is a pivot. So this guy here is a pivot, and then that is going to create some relative motion between the exterior and then the interior, where you have the optical assembly. But then we don't need to do here anything. So what I do now, just to finish, is I tied these 3 screws. Then to finish I add the bayonet, and then my cue is okay. This zoom a bit. I have all these lamps, so the lever here should go in position here, so it pushes this guy here. So, and then this is my cue to align the bayonet. I just need to put the screws. And then with that final step I am done. I have fixed my lens, which is good to work for, I don't know, 20 more years, 25, whatever. Excellent lens. If you don't have it, you should try it, and then if you haven't, you should keep it in good shape. This is all I wanted to show you today. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.